If you read just one book this year, make it this one. Most people spend years making mistakes that could be completely avoided in just 10 minutes. In this video, we're unlocking the core lessons from The One Thing by Gary Keller and Papasan. You are lying to yourself every single day about how success actually works. You think the answer is doing more, juggling more, cramming more into your calendar until it groans under the weight. It's the opposite, and almost everyone gets this backwards for their entire life. Gary Keller spent years digging through research and interviewing the most successful people he could find, and he kept running into the same pattern over and over. They didn't do everything. They found one thing, the right thing, and hammered on it until it worked. This is the one thing, and it's genuinely about to change how you spend every single hour of your day. Lesson 1. Not everything matters equally. We're raised on the myth that a good to-do list is a long one. Keller destroys that idea in the opening chapters. A to-do list is really just a survival list. It keeps you busy, not productive, and busy is not the same as successful. The fix comes from an accidental discovery. In the 1930s, a consultant named Joseph Uran cracked a coded message inside General Motors and, through that work, stumbled onto Vilfredo Pareto's old observation that 80% of results come from 20% of effort. Most people stop right there and feel clever. Keller says go further. Take that 20%, then find the 20% hiding inside it, and keep narrowing until one single action remains, the one that makes everything else easier or completely unnecessary. That's not a to-do list anymore. That's a success list, and it only ever has one item worth starting with. Lesson 2. Success leaves clues, and they all point to one thing. Look at any wildly successful company and you'll find one product or service quietly carrying the rest. Colonel Sanders built an empire on a single secret recipe. Google's entire advertising machine only exists because of one thing: search. Apple didn't discontinue the Mac when the iPod took off, or kill the iPod when the iPhone arrived. It simply asked, again and again, what's the one thing right now, and let that answer lead. The same pattern shows up in individual lives. Bill Gates had one passion, computers, one skill, programming, and one person, Paul Allen, who became his partner. None of these people diversified their way to the top. They narrowed their way there, and then let that narrow focus compound over years into something enormous. Lesson 3. Multitasking is a lie you tell yourself. Stanford researcher Clifford Nass set out to prove that people who multitask constantly must be secretly great at it. He was wrong, and the results embarrassed him. His heaviest multitaskers underperformed on every single test he threw at them. Here's why. Your brain physically cannot focus on two demanding things at once. What feels like multitasking is really rapid task switching, and every switch costs you real time and real mental energy, like a tax you never agreed to pay. Researchers estimate we lose close to a third of a workday to this constant bouncing. So when you're answering emails during a meeting while half listening to a colleague, you're not being efficient. You're doing 3 things poorly instead of one thing well, and your brain quietly knows it. Lesson 4. Discipline is overrated. Habit is everything. Here's a relief. You don't need to become a rigidly disciplined person to win big. Keller points to Michael Phelps, a kid whose kindergarten teacher once told his mother he would never be able to focus on anything. Phelps never became disciplined across his entire life. He funneled discipline into exactly one habit, training in the pool 7 days a week, until it stopped requiring willpower at all and simply became who he was. Researchers at University College London found it takes an average of 66 days to lock a new behavior into an automatic habit. That means you don't need endless self-control forever. You need just enough discipline to survive 66 days on a single behavior, and after that, the habit does the heavy lifting for you. Lesson 5. Protect your willpower like it's a draining battery. Willpower isn't a switch you flip whenever you need it. It's fuel, and it burns down steadily across your day. Stanford's Baba Shiv proved this with a deceptively simple study. People asked to memorize a 7-digit number were nearly twice as likely to grab cake over fruit salad afterward compared to those who only memorized 2 digits. That tiny extra mental load was enough to wreck their self-control completely. Even parole judges show this pattern in the real world, granting freedom far more often right after a snack break than right before one. Remember the marshmallow test too, where children who could resist one treat for 15 minutes to earn a second one went on to score higher on the SAT and build better lives decades later. The lesson is brutally practical for you today. Do your most important work first, while your tank is still full, and never save your hardest task for the exhausted end of your day. Lesson 6. Stop chasing balance. Start counterbalancing. Balance sounds noble on a poster, but Keller calls it a myth that quietly wrecks ambition. True balance means giving every priority equal time, and that guarantees mediocrity everywhere at once. The real move is counterbalancing instead. At work, go long, staying intensely out of balance on your one priority for extended stretches, because extraordinary results demand extended, uninterrupted focus. At home, go short, checking back in constantly with the people who matter before too much time quietly slips away from you. Think of a ballerina standing end point. She looks perfectly still and balanced from the audience, but her shoes are making constant tiny corrections underneath her. That's the hidden truth behind every successful life that looks effortless from the outside. Lesson 7. Ask the focusing question every single day. Everything in this book collapses into one deceptively simple tool. What's the one thing I can do such that by doing it, everything else becomes easier or completely unnecessary? Say it slowly and notice what it isn't asking. It doesn't ask what you should do or could do somewhere in theory. It asks what you can do, something concrete and achievable starting right now. Use the big version of the question to set direction for your year, your career, even your whole life. Use the small version every single morning to find your next domino. Then protect the answer fiercely. Block 4 uninterrupted hours for it, ideally first thing before meetings and notifications start draining your willpower dry. Guard that block the way you'd guard a meeting with your most important client, because that's genuinely what it is. Keller calls the deeper version of this goal setting to the now. You start with your someday goal, then ask what you need to achieve in 5 years to stay on track for it, then this year, then this month, this week, today, and finally right now, this exact moment. Each answer nests inside the one before it, like a Russian doll, until your biggest dream connects directly to the very next action sitting in front of you. The 4 thieves waiting to steal your focus. Keller warns of 4 culprits that quietly derail even people who fully understand everything above. First, the inability to say no, something Steve Jobs mastered by cutting Apple's bloated product line from 350 items down to just 10. Second, the fear of chaos, that nagging discomfort when other tasks pile up around you while you stay locked onto one thing. Third, poor health habits, because a depleted, exhausted body simply cannot sustain a genuinely focused mind for long. Fourth, an environment stacked against your goals. Whether that means negative people draining your energy or physical spaces practically engineered for distraction. Notice how all 4 thieves circle back to one core truth. Protecting your one thing isn't a single decision you make once. It's a daily fight you have to keep winning, over and over, forever. One trick Keller shares: hang a big calendar on your wall and mark a red X on every day you show up for your one thing, the way a young Jerry Seinfeld did with joke writing. Your only job after that becomes simple. Don't ever break the chain. The takeaway: extraordinary results were never about grinding through an endless list of tasks. They come from finding the single domino that knocks over every other domino lined up behind it, and then hitting that one domino again and again until your whole life topples in exactly the direction you wanted. So close every tab, silence every notification, and ask yourself right now, in this exact moment, what's the one thing you can do today such that by doing it, everything else becomes easier or completely unnecessary? Go and do that first, before anything else steals your morning. Nothing else on your endless list matters more than this single, deliberate move, right now. If this summary saved you hours of reading and gave you real value, hit the subscribe button right now. Leave a comment below letting us know which book you want to see next. And if you want to keep growing your mind, click the video appearing on your screen right now. See you in the next 10 minutes.